All right, so today on the bench, we're going to be talking about junk, J-U-N-K. If you spend any time looking at Japanese auctions, whether it's Yahoo auctions or maybe an eBay listing originating from Japan, you're going to come across things labeled as junk. And for the vast majority of you watching, you probably think, well, I don't want junk. What is this? It's probably broken. And it may be, but you have to understand that in Japan, the term junk could mean something that's not wanted anymore. It could be broken, it could be untested, it could just be something that sat around and is taking up space and therefore is junk and they're trying to get rid of it. And that's what we have today. We have a junk Super Famicom. Now, one of the things I liked about this listing is it had a bunch of pictures. It looked like it was yellowed. It was untested, but overall it looked to be pretty good physical condition. And I found a lot of times when I order things from Japan, they basically come bubble wrapped and that's it. This was covered in like a gray paper like this, and that's how it was shipped. I also bought a Famicom disk system that arrived in just bubble wrap the whole way from Japan. That's what you get. So let's open this up, see what we got, see if it powers on, and see what kind of work we need to do with it. Okay, well, so yeah, it does need some retro bite. Something is rolling around inside. Maybe something broke off, but it seems to be in fairly good shape. We do have a crack here. That's not too bad. Might be able to repair that on the inside. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, all in all, I paid less than $25 for it, so as long as it works, I'd say that's a pretty good win. So let's open it up and take a peek inside. All right, well, all the mechanisms look to be fine. The locking mechanism works. I don't see anything broken here. And let's check the board itself. I still hear something rolling around inside, but I don't see it yet. But overall, this looks... Oh, there it is. Oh. It was... Yep, I see what it is. Right there, you see those two chips? Those are the plastic pieces that broke off. All right, we'll put those off to the side. All right, this isn't too bad. Well, let's take the rest of the board out and we'll take a look and see what we have to work with. All right, so we got everything disassembled. It's not a one-chip board, but hey, we couldn't be too lucky with that. But other than that, I mean, this board is in really, really great shape. I mean, this is, for being labeled junk. No, this is outstanding shape. We will plug the board in and just make sure it works. But first, because whether this works or not, I just like the styling of the Super Famicom. So even if it doesn't work, I'll probably just keep it up on a shelf. I did get everything disassembled so that we can retro bright everything. Should be a nice sunny day tomorrow, so we'll put it outside. I am a little worried though because the bottom is immensely worse than the top of the case, so I'll do my best to try to match those two shades. I'll probably do this first in solution and then just maybe keep them outside, sun bleach them for a little bit. The the nice thing about the Super Famicom is you can just pop the face plates off, so I only have to worry about retro brighting this part of it. So we'll get this outside tomorrow and we'll start the retro bright process. Well, it's a beautiful day, the sun is out and the birds are singing, and we have our Super Famicom in solution. We have the bottom half over here. The top doesn't look too horrible, so we're just going to leave it out in the sun, and we'll do this over the next couple days. So before we test this out, I want to talk a little bit about this Super Famicom board that the eagle-eyed of you might have picked out. But in case you haven't, let's look at my North American Super Nintendo. Now, There is one big difference you might not pick up on if you're not familiar with Famicom and Super Nintendo boards. But we have this module here on the Super Famicom, whereas my North American Super Nintendo, we don't. What this is a very early board for the Famicom. And this is the, let's see if we can get it in here, the SHVC, this sound. This is the sound module for the Super Famicom. And as there were revisions, this is an SHVC CPU 01 board. This is 02? Yeah, this is 02 board. So as there were revisions, they would do cost cutting and just ways to make manufacturing more efficient. So instead of having this module, all of these chips were then put on the board in later revisions. And then, of course, the revision that everybody wants for is the one chip. And people say that the audio and video from that is superior compared to the other ones. I don't know. I mean, I think so, maybe a little bit, but it's not enough that I would, trade any of these for a one chip. So now that we looked at some of those differences, let's put in Mario and Wario and see if this Super Famicom works. I did feature this game on a previous video on a different system. So let's see if this junk Famicom is actually junk. Light on. Video. All right, so we're all back together. The Retro Bright is done. You see still a little bit of a color difference, but it's a lot better than when I started. Unfortunately, the weather's starting to change, so I don't know when I'll be able to do this again, but we'll probably do another Retro Bright treatment later on down the road. But this is perfectly acceptable for me. And when it's on the shelf plugged in, you really don't notice. And I mean, let's be honest, it was advertised as a junk Famicom, and I bet this is the best piece of junk Famicom that I have. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope maybe you start looking for junk, quote-unquote, electronics on some Japanese auction sites. Sometimes you luck out, sometimes you don't. But today we did. I thank you for watching. I hope you stay tuned. If you like what we're doing here, like and subscribe. Tell your friends. We'll catch you next time.